Welcome to Timberborn. This is Casual Dad Plays, and we're playing this cozy, post-apocalyptic beaver city builder game in the birthplace of a new dream, New Babylon. We're playing as the Iron Teeth today, disciplined, industrial, and driven by raw efficiency. And today, we're beginning their greatest project yet, an ancient vision reborn through steel and science. Our goal? To recreate the legendary Hanging Gardens of Babylon. But this time, the gardens will hold a secret, and you'll have to stick around to see what it is. But first, we need to survive on this map. This map is the Prut map, I believe is how you say it, from the workshop. Mostly flat, nice amount of water, buildable space. Perfect map for what I want to do. There's some bad water on here that we can utilize. We'll have to definitely worry about the bad tides soon, but make sure you stick around because first we need to get that food, water, and wood. Already know that we are going to be building a new Babylon with a new hanging gardens, but as the Iron Teeth, we have to make sure we have those berries down because they need berries to do the breeding pods, which makes a little bit of a challenge but also can be helpful in controlling your population. So first we're going to start off with some berries to be plucked. Next, I believe we're going to come over here and get our wood taken care of. Just throw down a couple of those. And then last but not least, where do we want to start farming? See, we have over here, we have water over here, and we have water sources over here, which means both sides are going to get hit with bad tides. So I'm looking to see which one's going to be the easiest to block off, and I think this area right here is going to be the easiest to block off. If we come in over here, do a little bit of demolition of the trees, we can quickly block this area off. Which means we're going to need our floodgates. Looks like a single floodgate would be fine, so we need to get down our inventors ASAP. And so we're going to do this. And as I'm building, some of this may be temporary, but we're going to do our best to build with our final ziggurat in mind. And so I don't want to get too far in the way of have to do too much rebuilding later. But we will do what we have to do. So now that we have that down, let's get... and kohlrabi is not the best, but you know, it's gonna have to be what sustains us for a little while. Okay, and so then we're gonna have our path just for future. We're gonna need that right there, and then I think what we'll do. Okay, so we already have some stairs, which are nice because that reduces the costs that we have to have for our science. And so we don't actually have to cut the path through there, which is even more helpful. And so I think we're about ready to get going. We got our food, we've got our lumberjacks, we got our gathering flags, and let's get going. Cut these trees, but we're just everything is up for cutting. We are gonna want to use this entire island eventually. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna go ahead and mark these for cutting. so we don't forget. But as we're getting started, we need to go ahead and get some storage down. Now, I think... Oh, I almost forgot. We actually need water. So this is going to be our safe water spot. Let's get a couple of those down. And of course, all of this is subject to change. But we're going to try and make a little bit of a grid, make things a little efficient. And we're definitely going to need those to get going. But we need storage. Now, we have to think about where are we going to have our breeding pods. Our water's there. The berries are here. Berries. If we make this our home district, then I could put some breeding pods across the back, which would be really helpful. And then our housing, we get right here, and that gives us more room for breeding pods. Now these are going to be lower because we have other things. So that means our storage, we're going to want to have not the small storage. We can expand our breeding pods there if needed. We'll put storage here, and then we'll put storage here for our food. This is going to be for berries. This will be for kohlrabi. No, that's fermented. Cassavas. I always have a problem finding kohlrabi for some reason. There. And then the last storage we need to get in is we need to go ahead and get an industrial pile going. Let's put it right there. Get the logs going. And we need, really, now we got that set up, we need this to be next. We need the other inventor. I know, because we don't have a house. Let's get to the houses, I guess, so that their happiness goes up. And they need some water, or else they will die. We also need water storage over here for... Alright, let's get water. We may die before we even get started. Maybe we can recover. There goes that. And we'll put more workers there for the meantime. We're going to get some builders and haulers pretty quick. That's always a downside to my builds, is not having enough haulers and builders. So we're going to let this run. We're going to get the population going, and then we will check back in a bit, because we really need to get the the floodgates out here as soon as possible. Thankfully they already had stairs, so that should be good. We're gonna wait for 150 science. Alright, we are almost to that 150 science, so let's get ready to put down our floodgates. And there we go. And let's get that down. Get some paths around. And get that as soon as possible. Well, we'll have it set to 0, but as soon as bad tide comes, it'll just divert it all around. That'll keep our initial farms safe. Over here, we're gonna have to do something to protect the berries. I'm not sure if we have a... we do have some built-in stairs right there, so let's get to them. And then I want this to come over here. Now this could go up to 2 high, but right now it's just 1 high. So I think what I'm going to do is we're just going to put in something like this for now. And this is going to be next highest priority. So we're going to sit and we're going to let the beavers build that. And in the meantime, I'm going to be coming up with our further plans of expansion once we get the basics taken care of. They're moving along a little faster than I expected. So while the beavers will set the groundwork, let me walk you through the vision. All right, so we have our rough bad tide diversion systems, and to protect our food, or they're going in, we have to figure out something long term. And so for long term, what I'm thinking is this water source over here mixed with these water sources, which this will be very difficult to do, but we are going to cap them all off and we're going to run them underground, and they're going to, the bad water will just flow off the map. It is a fairly flat, short map, so we have lots of space upwards to build. We're going to run it off the map, either in the back corner or underground, to keep most of the land nice and uncontaminated. But we're going to build a pipe. It's going to come up here, and we're going to have a reservoir in the sky. And that reservoir is going to come over to the top of our hanging gardens and is going to dump water onto the hanging gardens, and it's going to cascade off all 4 sides into terrace ponds where we'll have different types of mangroves or other crops like what is it, eggplant or something that needs water. We will have all that figured out, and it's going to look great. And then of course the inside is going to hold a secret. Now all this bad tide we're going to take probably underground. So again, we want to reclaim this land and not have it contaminated. And we're going to go back to this corner, and we're going to have an industrial power source. But in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to have to set up some kind of basic power somewhere. Still trying to decide on where that would be best at. This is pretty fast flowing here and here, but then to get up and over, I don't know, because I also got where we put the power is going to determine where we put our industrial base. We have a lot of trees here, so I'm really thinking about getting some power wheels here and then starting a little industrial base just right here on the edge. But that is that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have makeshift power there. Long-term power solution has been there. You know, so that all you see, the point is we're gonna make some magic happen. That all you see is nice green everywhere, or as much as possible. Okay, and then that's gonna be filled with trees and plants. We're gonna do some beautification all along here. And then what below is hidden, and you will see that, because New Babylon isn't just vertical, it also is a secret. See, really? Here's the secret. I'm going to give it to you right now. New Babylon is a full underground city. That's right. The Hanging Gardens aren't just going to be gardens. We're going to be building inside. This is why I already have the layout set to be basically our perimeter, roughly, and we'll square it up more in the future. But we're going to have multi-tiered city in here, so you'll see as we play along that we're going to unlock platforms fairly quickly, dynamite fairly quickly, and we're going to start building up into the ziggurat. Now, how does that look like and everything? We're still working on it. I do know we can go 29 high from here, so we'll probably go about 5 levels up and then do another level, and at that 5 levels we'll come in, because as the water cascades down, it's going to flow over into the moat and off the map as it currently is doing. But we're going to take advantage of as much of it as possible. And when those bad tides come, it's not going to be a problem. They're going to get diverted, and we'll have such a reservoir base that we'll keep everything going. Of course, we'll have pumps and dumps to keep it going if we, for some reason, do go empty. But the real beauty of it all is we're going to have a nice clean divide between our green city and our industrial land. We may even have some industrial towers providing factories run by bots all the way over there, while our beavers are living in the lap of luxury. So that is the grand vision for New Babylon. Let's see how we're doing for... I actually like to turn off these breeding pods during droughts. Let's see. We're getting there. Oh, we gotta get planks. Uh-oh. I'm glad I checked, because that would have been absolutely devastating. So, to get this industrial power mill, we're gonna need a bunch of them. But we're gonna pause. We're just gonna get one for now. And our compact power wheel, we're going to start here. Okay, and so then we're gonna have to get, we do have the science. That's great. But here's the problem. How can we get the planks? I know what we'll have to do, and it's going to be a huge pain and not at all what I want to do. We're going to have to start off with one of these. I can't do that there because it blocks the entrance. And so we'll do this. We'll have our power shaft here, and then we'll have our vertical power shaft here. I don't want that to be a vertical. I do love the new changes. The automatic power shafts, it just makes life so much easier. So that's what we're gonna have to do. We'll go here. We'll get that taken care of. And we'll put some storage or something in here. Looks like a good spot for another small tank and a medium tank. But we're going to need to get that pretty quick. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to get our diversion. Now, this is also a problem. We'll need to hold back some of the water just to keep our stuff from dying. Well, since we already have a floodgate, let's make this easier. If they're all connected, then just moving one moves them all. Supposedly. So, we're going to... Let's see. Yeah, there we go. They all move. So we'll be able to control the water flow there, and then we'll also have the water flow here. We've got to keep some of that back for this drought. Now, we've got plenty of food and water, so that's fine. What I'm concerned about is stuff dying. This drought is not a problem. Well, some of the kohlrabi is going to die, but that just tells me we need to get... If we can't keep enough water level, we're going to need to make some retention ponds, which means we've got to get over to some bad water. But maybe we can do something once we get our planks up and running. Maybe we can... No. I don't want that. I want single. There we go. Maybe we can keep some retention in here. But we're going to have to get that going real fast. Let's speed things up. We'll come back when we have things made. Alright, we are finishing up the bad water diversion system. That's going to last us quite a while, even though it's temporary. We just need a few more materials brought over. And while they're finishing that up, just nearby, what I've also decided to put in was this extra system right here. And that's just to divert more water down towards the sluice gates. Or, sorry, not the sluice gates, but our power system that we're going to put in next. And is this going to be it? Are we going to be here? No. Yeah, just a few more. But the water is going to be forced down here, and we're going to be building a temporary little power system over there. Now, that power system is not going to be the most efficient thing, but it is going to last us quite a while and help to get us through to the next stage. And so that's going to be really good. We're not going to synchronize with these so that it can be full up until we need a bad water diversion. So basically what this is going to give us is we're going to protect our food spots, our berry patch, and our farms. We will be expanding our farms shortly to include some new foods over here. So basically the bad tide that spawns here will get diverted out that way. And then when we're over here, the bad tide that comes through here will get diverted out that way. And keep our food nice and safe. There's going to be some contamination in here. We'll need to see how far that goes before we get too close. But I think planting in this, general vicinity, wrong mouse button, apologize. This vicinity will be helpful. And we do have that complete now. So we have completed our first major goal is to get bad water diversion set up. And now we're going to come over here and we do actually need some more housing. And we need a little bit more. We need some teeth grinding and some beds. To notice there's some hurt beavers. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get the power lines in first, and then we will get the wheels in, and once the wheels are in, we are going to then come in here with some more blocks, and we're gonna force the water up and around nicely. And so basically what it's supposed to do is we're going to try and force it down the left side, and then also down the right side. We're going to have a little divider here open at the end so it can go out, and water can't really flow here. There's going to be some that overflows, but that's fine. We're like I said, not caring too much about that. But this way, if we want to in the future, before we're ready for our big base, we can loop it back around. We can just do some small demolition and loop it back around to have it going out that way, which will help us quite a bit. Right now, we are a little low on water, but because we are low on housing, I had turned off the pods, so that's going to be helpful. We need to get those stacked up. So we also want some more water pods to be built. We really need this next because we need these beavers not to be on the wheel of infinity, of boredom. We need them off. So this will be pretty good. Once we get this off, we'll add probably 2 more lumber mills and then a couple of gear workshops, most likely. And yeah, now we've got to start planning out some things. Not sure where some things are going to go, so we're just going to take a little bit of a time lapse while I plan things out, and we'll be right back with you in just a bit. All right, there we go. There's gonna be some decent planning to get us started. Stocking these up did push the water a little bit further than before. We're gonna need to try and get that a little bit more out there. We since we're out of this drought and we have more water storage now, we're gonna keep going with those pods. So I do have the mod for ladders. I really like it. They're pretty expensive, so there is a bit of a downside to them, but they're super helpful, especially in these little tight builds that we want to do. And I am noticing that this farm is going to have to be temporary because we're gonna end up having to move our ziggurat out a little bit more. But we are up and running, it looks like. We just need a couple more pieces to be put together. I don't know, can they... I don't know if they can reach those. We're gonna have to... It's just one log, so we'll just take this out. And we're gonna just put a piece in here. And nothing else is high priority, so it should get fixed fairly quickly. Because we really need to free up these beavers and this space for other work. Perhaps we'll get it next cycle. But things are coming along pretty well. Pretty happy with how things are going. Our water is getting stacked up pretty good. We're gonna get some more berries in here. We've got plans for fermented cassava, and so just wanted some space to harvest the cassava and then put the fermented ones. I'm gonna try and keep the food right here in this general vicinity. And then once we unlock the bigger water tanks, we're going to put the water over here so they just come here for food and water. And then we'll be able to free up some more space over there. But that's the general plan there. They are working over here. Maybe that is the problem. Because that's not high priority. Highest priority is getting this put together. There's just a couple of logs, so I'm not sure. Vertical power shaft needs gears. Well, did not realize that. Well, it looks like we're going to have to unlock gears a little early. Let's see. If we want here and here, so then I'm going to have a gap here. And there. So gap there and there. And then power shaft. Did not realize that takes gears, but that's okay. We will get some workshops up and running really fast. They'll have that in no problem. And then I guess we can go ahead and keep working on this in the meantime. And then we will go ahead and tell them once that's done to focus over here. So I do want to get that up and running. I'm going to take a lot of planks. We're going to need our lumberjack back. Actually, we're going to close those down. I want to clear this area out over here. So we're going to close this down. And basically move them over there. Who's without power? Okay, that's fine. If those were without, that's fine. That actually did get built. Interesting. Alright, so we're going to focus you on the cassava. And so, how long are we going to get this done? Alright, we'll check back when the power's up and running. Alright, we got it fixed. We just need to get this attached. And we'll be good to go. I did notice, however, I made a little bit of a mistake. This gear workshop is not in the right spot. So we're going to have to move it back. Make it in the right spot. And actually we're going to come down here like this with the path. I think, well, no. I kind of like how it is. We're going to have a path up to the door, and we're gonna have just a little bit of storage right outside. So basically, you're gonna have what you need. Oh, these are the wrong warehouses too. Let me switch those out. Small industrial pile here and here, here and here. Let's get our paths back in. Whoopsies. So now we're gonna set this to logs and this to planks. Then this is gonna be planks and this is gonna be. I always forget that the gears go in a different warehouse. Silly me. Especially with these, that they look almost the same. All right, so let's see where we're at the end of the first episode. We have pretty much our blueprint, our footprint, I should say, down for our ziggurat. We have some amenities that we want to make sure we get early on, because the higher the happiness, the well-being, the better the beavers will be. Say that 5 times fast. The better the beavers will be. And yeah, so we've got a nice big berry patch here that's going to be pumping our population up to somewhere around 30. We have the right amount of housing for them, and most importantly, we have safeguarded ourselves from any bad tides with this temporary diversion. Again, we're going to eventually put it underground, have the bad tides go off the map, and pump all the water over here to a reservoir up in the sky. But that's going to be later. We do have our beginnings of a power plant here to get things running. Let's see how much we got. We have 490 total. Honestly, that's not bad. And considering we have this all done, we can just do this right here. We're going to do that also. And then we're going to put some dams through here with stairs that gets the beavers wet. And then we need power to connect it all. We're going to start with that, followed by that one and that one. Hopefully they build it all in the correct order. We are going to probably have to get some paths so that they think they're close enough. But we're coming along. We're coming along. What I'm going to do here, these are also going to be places for some well-being. Since they're going to be working hard over here, I want to put some grinders and then some medical beds over here. Since this is an industrial district, they will be getting hurt, and so let's just put them over there. Makes it nice and easy. As far as any decorations, we have some science unlocked, so we're gonna put some shrubs up to help give them some more quick and easy well-being when they are sleeping. It's really underrated how much the well-being helps them. And these are just temporary. They're cheap, they're easy, but we're just wanting to really pump up that well-being to help them live longer, work faster, be more efficient. Because that's what we're about as Iron Teeth, is being efficient. But that's about it. We have our goals met for this first episode. And next episode, what we're going to do is we are going to bridge across over here, and we're going to start pumping up the bad water as well as collecting the scrap, because we want to unlock our explosives factory and our dynamite. We have enough for the factory, not enough for the dynamite, but that's fine. We gotta get the factory going first, because we want to start getting things set up. We need to dynamite some areas. Like, we need this section here to be lower. We also want to tunnel in under our roads and bring the water in under the roads, primarily through our reservoirs right here. I want it to come in and follow these roads so that more of this will be green and we don't have to worry about planting and everything like that. But those are just the first couple of things that come to mind. We, of course, we're going to be taking out all of the wood that we can, clearing this area. Eventually, we will level everything. All these ridges will be leveled out, and we'll make a nice square block right here with a little moat around it, and that will start to make things come into shape. Potentially, we will also next episode work on our scrap refinement and start making some metal blocks. So we have some scrap here that could be easy to get to. We have some already made bridges, or not bridges, I don't know why I can't speak, stairs. And so we have our handy dandy lumberjack over here clearing our way to the stairs so we can get this scrap, and we'll just add it on to this section. But this is going to be our temporary industrial zone for now before we move it off. But that just gives you an idea of where we're going and what we got in store. So make sure you stick around and follow the Iron Teeth as they create New Babylon. This has been Casual Dad Plays some Timberborn. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you leave a like down below if you like this idea of a waterfall, hanging gardens, living inside, secret mountain kind of ordeal. Comment down below. Let me know what you think is going to work, or some things I need to keep in mind, or just other ideas you may have. You can always drop an emoji. That's good for engagement. It helps the channel out and the video out. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. Trying to hit 5,000 subs by the end of summer, before the kids go back to school. That's the goal. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. This has been Timberborn, and it has been so fun. Can't wait for the next episode, guys. I will see you later. Bye-bye.